This video is how to overcome common objections. There's not many common objections. We're going to go through the 4 most common objections in no particular order. The first is, I don't need a trust because my estate's not subject to estate taxes. First thing I would say, well, where did you hear that? And kind of educate them the difference between estate taxes and probate. Estate taxes are federal estate taxes, and this year, 2013, it's over $5 million for an individual, over $10 million for a married couple. Less than 1% of the American public are going to have to pay estate taxes this year, which is a great thing. However, probate has nothing to do with estate taxes. They're 2 separate issues. In California, all you have to own is $20,000 in real estate or have an estate worth $100,000 or more. So I'm going to tell them a true story. In California, an agent's grandmother passed away before she started helping her clients with living trusts. She had a very simple estate. She had a will, she had 1 home and a few retirement accounts. The attorney charged them $15,000 up front, take them into probate, and her estate was in probate for 3 years. So obviously she was nowhere near the estate tax exemption because they're 2 separate things. After 3 years in probate, her grandmother's house depreciated $100,000. So, not including court fees and ongoing attorney fees, this simple probate ended up costing the family $115,000. And don't you think that if they knew they could have spent $1,895, they would have to save the $113,000, whatever else, plus fees? Of course they would have. So estate taxes and probate are 2 separate issues. Second objection is it costs too much. This could mean a couple of things, so I want to clarify it. Cost too much. And just repeat it back to them. It costs too much? Let them explain to you what. Yeah. Because sometimes it's not the cost. It could be they don't have the money or they don't see the value. Okay? So if someone says, yeah, it just seems like I just don't have the money right now. Okay. Well, you can put on a credit card. Well, I don't use credit cards. Okay. And they have an installment payment plan where you pay half now and the remainder in 90 days. Would that work for you? And if they say no, okay, not a worry, then would you like me to follow up? Yes or no, and I'm always going to ask for referrals before I end that conversation. Always ask for referrals after every conversation. Get in that habit. Then they say, well, I don't think it's worth $1,895. So it's the value and not the cost. I need to clarify that. So, okay, so you don't see the value in it. No, I don't. I'm going to tell them that same story. Don't you think that's a good investment, $1,895 to save $113,000? Yeah, it is. Okay. Plus, there's a lot of living benefits in it. So this tells me the client really hasn't, or the prospect hasn't put any time into investigating the plan, or they're not telling me the truth still that they don't have the money. So you have to discover that. The next objection is, why don't I just go to a local attorney? There's no reason why you shouldn't go to a local attorney. Just make sure that they're experts at trust. Because most attorneys, if you ask them what kind of law they practice, well, they do a little personal injury. They do some wills. They do some trust. They do some business law. Most of them, do a lot of different law just to survive. Just ask them how long they've been doing trust. What else do they do besides trust? Do they have a BBB rating? Do their trusts come with free lifetime changes and free lifetime support? The reason that's important is you have to compare apples to oranges. All right. Some people want to have that face-to-face contact, and that's great. Then they can do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But just let them know that there is an option for them. And the analogy that I use is, if you went to your local doctor and he said you had a brain tumor, would you have him perform the surgery? Well, chances are you wouldn't, right? You would go to the expert. Well, Heritage is the expert because they've been doing it since 1989. All they do is trust. They're A+ rated, but a Better Business Bureau, and their trusts come with free lifetime changes and free lifetime support. And let the client make the decision. Whatever they decide, that's their best decision. The next one is, I don't need a trust. I have a will. Congratulate them. Over 70% of Americans die intestate. Intestate means they die with nothing written down. It's helter-skelter. So congratulate them. Hey, you're ahead of the curve. Did you know that a will take you into probate? A lot of people don't know that. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, and then you tell them the true probate story. Hey, a will's better than nothing, but if you want to avoid probate, you want to keep your estate private, you want to have healthcare directives, you want to have the power of attorneys, et cetera, then you might want to consider Heritage Living Trust. Okay? And then finally, always ask for referrals. There's another training on this page with how to specifically ask for referrals.